Recovery operators has accused Police Scotland of allowing firms to add additional charges on top of the legal removal cost. The police say the additional charges are justified.
Our Consumer Affairs correspondent, Laura Miller, has spoken to former employees of one operator who say the practice of overcharging is routine. Here's her report.
It's partly the reason why I've left the recovery industry altogether.
I don't think I would ever phone the police again.
People laugh, that's what it's done.
It's just everybody's making money at the end of the day.
This is the world of vehicle recovery, roadside assistance in extremis. But if you're carless and powerless, how do you know if you're getting a fair deal? A breakdown is at best an inconvenience. At worst, you could have been involved in an accident or even the victim of a crime. And it's those cases where police have become involved that we've discovered are open to abuse. Shanaz had her van stolen last year. It was abandoned a few miles from her shop in Straven. Police ordered it to be removed from the roadside. A few days later, the bill came.
I was heartbroken. I was really hard thinking I've got to pay £400 for nothing. Because if I had known the police were going to do that, I would have went and got the car back myself.
And Shanaz is not alone. These are all invoices and emails from motorists concerned about the amounts they've been charged. They're from a mixture of normal drivers to hauliers to a leading bus company. Some of them come to a few £100s, but others run into thousands. Here's the law. The police have the power to remove vehicles which are causing an obstruction. Crucially, there's a £150 statutory charge. That means a flat fee, whether it's a car, bus or HGV. But it gets more complicated. The police outsource these jobs to a management firm called FMG, who use a number of recovery operators. But still, the charge prescribed by law is £150. But our investigation has revealed drivers are routinely being charged more, way more. Avro is an organisation which represents recovery operators. It's been driving a campaign to clean up the industry.
It's a huge problem, overcharging widespread all over Scotland, and despite us challenging the authorities and effectively getting them to admit through our legal petition that they were acting unlawfully, the practice is continuing, which we are absolutely flabbergasted by. Ultimately, this is the fault of the Scottish Police. They have the authority, and they've given the authority, it looks like they've given the authority to their management company and the operators to continue this overcharging of honest drivers and haulage operators.
Avro is challenging the police in the courts again, but the case was put on hold back in January because the Scottish Government is now considering amending the legislation. Its consultation closed more than 6 months ago, and still nothing has changed. In England and here in Wales, the laws around the recovery of vehicles changed more than 10 years ago. It followed a long-running campaign by the industry. And experts here say the situation in Scotland now could even be worse.
You have an accident, you are in shock. So when a policeman comes along and says we're going to move that, you don't argue. That policeman also has a duty of care and management. That's what they're not enforcing.
Mike Eagles has helped Avro with its campaign and provided expert advice to the UK government. We showed him some of the invoices we'd been sent. One of these is a woman that we spoke to, Shanaz, whose car was stolen. And she, you can see, has been charged £396, which she paid.
Shouldn't pay it. She didn't abandon the car there. The thief did. I'm quite happy. You can give her my telephone number. I will write a letter from our law firm, and I think she'll get the money back.
But where does the money go? A number of recovery operators are on the police contract, but in our investigation, one name came up more than most. We spoke to 3 former employees of 911 Recovery based in Glasgow. They all said overcharging there was routine. Two of them were prepared to speak to us on camera.
It's always been common knowledge between other drivers how much people are being charged for these sort of jobs.
And how does it work?
You get charged for, if we're doing a job, they'll get charged for chains, special equipment that we meant to have used, but it's just our normal equipment, we use it every day.
We would get a percentage of each piece of equipment used, so it was kind of an incentive to use as much equipment as we could on each job to get the most money out of each job. Everybody's making money at the end of the day, I think, and it's, I don't really know. A lot of that's, dealt with behind closed doors and stuff.
We approached 911 Recovery on a number of occasions to ask for an interview, but that request was declined. Today, their lawyers told us that 911 does not incentivise its staff to provide unnecessary services and that the allegations of overcharging against them are groundless. We put our findings to Police Scotland. They say they're within their rights to allow additional charges in exceptional circumstances.
We can't expect operators then to send for further equipment, to hire in perhaps even specialist equipment that they don't have, and simply charge a flat fee of £150. That's ludicrous.
But it's the law.
It's not the law. The law provides for a statutory fee, and our contract provides for reasonable fare expenses above that. We've taken legal advice, and we believe that we are doing the right thing by not having these extra charges on the taxpayer. Somebody has to pay for these vehicles to be uplifted, and those fair and reasonable charges are levied against either the vehicle owners or their insurance companies.
So while police defend additional charges and the law remains unchanged, how long will the motorist be left exposed?
Well, Laura, hard-hitting stuff there. Do we know where to start? But I mean, astonishing allegations. Where does this go now?
Well, clearly there's a need to examine this industry, and as you heard, the Scottish Government is currently considering doing so to mirror the situation down south, where the statutory charge can actually be varied depending on the complexity of the recovery. But as it stands, that just hasn't happened yet. So we're left with a situation which means the system is open to the levying of hefty charges by recovery operators. Now, police, for their part, have emphasised that there is a complaints procedure for cases where someone thinks that there have been unreasonable charges. And one other thing to mention, which will interest drivers, is that I have spoken to a lawyer who works in this area, and he's told me that if a motorist has been charged more than that statutory amount, that £150, over the last 5 years, well, then they would be entitled to recover the excess.
Wow.
Very interesting.
Really interesting story. Thanks,
Thank
Laura.
you.
Now, they've gone from sworn enemies threatening nuclear war to best of friends. Now